Hello and welcome to Loon Lovers Live, where we're chatting with fans of the Game Changers series and the cast and crew of the Heated Rivalry TV show. I'm Jordan.
And I'm Anne, and today we are meeting with Harrison to talk about his experience with the show. Harrison is a platinum award winning producer, songwriter, and artist who is the genius behind the remix of All the Things She Said from the iconic club moment between Shane and Ilya. We are so happy you're with us today. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Really excited. Okay, we'll jump right into our questions. Has music always been something you wanted to pursue, and how did you get started in the business?
Uh, I wanted to be a rugby player originally, and then I broke my ankle pretty bad, and I really, music in school. Yeah, I used to do it, but it wasn't something like I pursued until I kind of left. And then, yeah, like many years after that, kind of, yeah, when I was like maybe because I left at 15, I dropped out. So I have no qualifications. So if this didn't work out for me, it was all over. Um, uh, yeah, so I was like, I'm just gonna run with it. And I think my first time that I was really serious about music was when I worked with a producer called Kipper, who's got a Grammy and an Emmy, and he produced Sting, Mary J. Blige, and stuff like that, and worked with
Wow.
Stevie Wonder. And I was just in the studio with him, really, kind of, you know, on a little session every now and then over the weekends. But dance music came much later than that, so probably it was about 17.
Amazing. Who were your favorite artists growing up?
Oof, that's difficult. Um, I predominantly used to listen to a lot of music from Savage Garden all the way through to oh jeez, like Eminem, all the way through to like hip hop. It wasn't really dance music as such. Dance music came a lot later. It was like probably like in my teenage years that I got into like MTV Dance and that kind of thing, and watching it. And I think that shows in like the rock background of songs that I've chosen to do
Mm-hmm.
in the songs that I remix now. Like recently working with the Veronicas, like that that track. I've just finished working with Duran Duran and Nile Rodgers, which is pretty cool. Not everybody gets to do something
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
neat.
And obviously, yeah, I even used to listen to Michael Bublé. Do you know what I mean? Like my music, you know, discography or whatever you want to call it, is just huge. I try to listen to everything to throw in different elements into what I make. But I actually don't listen to dance music when I'm not making it. I listen
That's
to
fun.
rock and alternative and that type of thing. It's kind of yeah, if I was on my motorbike and I was going for a ride, like yeah, you'd probably catch me like flicking back to some alternative kind of music.
Mm-hmm. And I
Eclectic.
think that's probably what makes you so good at what you do because you listen to everything. So I love
Yeah,
that.
I didn't shut myself off in a box, and I think if you
Yeah.
do that, then you don't have anything to show because all you know is the box, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So I feel like if dance music is the box, I'm over here trying to bring stuff back, like a spider
Pull
web.
into the box. I love
It's
that.
perfect.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, so this is a good lead in to this question. All the Things She Said came out in 2002 and you produced the cover in 2022. What was it about that song that made you want to
yeah.
cover it?
Uh, well, mostly it was probably the fact that I hadn't really heard anyone else do it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like at that time, I hadn't heard a club version of that, so I was
Hmm.
like, this would be quite a good idea. I didn't know it was going to become the number one most viral song in the world at the time. Obviously, nobody does.
Yeah.
And I also did it before the Ukraine war and stuff,
Okay.
so I wasn't stepping on any toes at that point. Um, Perhaps if it would have been after, maybe I
Hmm.
wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have chosen to step there because I would have been worried that I would have upset someone.
Right.
Right.
There there are oppressed people in Russia. There's oppressed people everywhere, you know. And I
Right.
love the show. The fact that the show is kind of about the underdog and about love who you want to love and do what you want to do and freedom and expression and everything positive. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
amazing. So from that point of view, the song is phenomenal. But
Yes.
yeah, there's a about 2022. Yeah, I remember it, and it was just like at that time I was just popping out songs one by one by one, because I just left my deal with Universal, and I was just pushing out like these remixes, and they
Mm-hmm.
tend to do quite good. You know, they were getting a lot of reaction. Back then, we didn't have TikTok like we have now.
Yeah.
It was a lot more playlist orientated, so that if
Mm-hmm.
you could get picked up on playlists on Spotify, they would do pretty well. So we did a lot of that. And then, yeah, some of the songs ended up getting 30 million, 20 million. I think actually, all the things she said originally, it was only doing like 2 or 3 million plays before the show. So it wasn't actually a massive track for me. It
Yeah.
became it became what it became after. It wasn't like it came out and it was just massive. It was a grower.
Yeah. I love that.
Can you tell us
Definitely.
how it became to be on the soundtrack? Did they reach out to you and ask? How
Yeah,
does that
yeah.
work?
So they don't reach out to me personally, but I'm assuming Jacob or one of his team members, I don't know exactly who would have done it. They reached out to my label at 1/7, and then they always offer me these opportunities. So like, it's not the first TV show to have reached out to us to use some music from like stuff that I've done, but I never say no because well, unless it's obviously a really horrible thing to be part of,
Right.
because they figure like, yeah, like, it's free money. Why would you do that? And number
Right.
two,
Right.
my daughter was just born, and I needed to buy like stuff for her crib and that type of thing, and it would just help me like decorate her bedroom. It wasn't even that much. I never actually told everybody what the show actually gave me, but I will tell you.
Oh,
They gave
okay.
me 15,000 Canadian dollars for that
Okay.
song to use in the series. They probably paid Tattoo a lot more, but had I known what they were going to use the song for and how vital they needed that song, I probably could have added a lot more money to it.
But it
But
furnished your
yeah, it
baby's
was
bedroom. I love that.
but it did, and ultimately, yeah, it's kind of crazy because half of that went to my team at Sony because we have a 50-50 deal on it,
Hmm.
and half of it went to me. So yeah,
I love
wasn't
that.
huge
Yeah.
uh, in the
If
whole
you'd
scheme of
known.
things, but then obviously the snowball that it created became massive. If I would have known.
Right. If you'd known. If you'd known. There was a good chunk of time after the Rose episode aired that you could not scroll Instagram or TikTok without hearing your song multiple times. I still can't scroll Instagram
Yeah,
without hearing it, like at least once or twice. In January, it reached
yeah.
500,000 streams in a single day on Spotify. It has become synonymous with heated rivalry.
Yeah.
How has this level of popularity of this song changed your life?
Uh, I was gonna give up before this song. I'd released
Wow.
maybe 50, 60 songs. And I was kind of like not done, but I was doing it like for my own love. Does that make any sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whereas now I have a real chance at taking down some titans. Which
Yes.
kind of like gives me to this like next level. Uh I feel like it was the validation that my mind needed in order to continue to do this. Because a lot of the time you don't want to come across like you're crazy or like you
Mm-hmm.
have an idea and you're like, is it good? Is it not? Is it just me? Like you start doubting? Do you know what I mean?
Right,
Like,
right.
why is
This is
everyone around me
validation.
and other people that I know doing like a billion streams and I'm not? And
Mm-hmm.
I had a lot of people that I know do really massive things. But the common denominator in all of it, actually, it's got nothing to do with just talent. It's the people that didn't give up that had the
Mm-hmm.
opportunity. It's
Right.
the grinders, you know. It's the people
Yeah.
that actually showed up every day and never gave up. That was on it. But it's kind of funny how I'm kind of done. I have the studio in my house. I get a phone call. They're like, "Yeah, do you want to do this show?" And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, whatever." And then bang, you know, number one most viral song in the world, global, trending, like 1 billion views on TikTok. Like that's a lot to deal with, you know. And also in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, what am I going to do next? Do you know what I mean? What am I going to follow it with? Fortunately, I'd
Right.
been still writing songs, you know, but it wasn't like I
Yeah.
was actively in there. But see, that's the thing. I had this window of, I come from a time where I want to do things properly, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know whether that's just anyone, where I feel like today the internet's all about slapping it on, and who cares, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah.
all about how many times you post and what sticks. And now you got trial reels, which is like post out what you want with no consequences, and like because they don't even go to your followers. It's a load of crap, right? Like so now
Yes.
you're competing
Yes.
obviously with machines as well, and don't even get me onto that level. But the problem was I could have gigged a lot faster, I think, with this had I chose to sign on with the Club 90s, or you know, go and do 50, 60 shows and do IP theft and take the series to like new heights, and just go and like put these guys on the screen behind me with no rights. But I
Right.
didn't. You
Yes.
know, I said I'm not doing that. I'm staying true to myself. I'll go on my own accord. I'm playing nothing behind, and you can come to my show, but it's a Harrison show, and I'm the guy that made it. I'll have a career after this. I had a career before this. Um, you know, albeit legacy before. Obviously, now it's a real career, but um, you know, I still did 500 million plays on Spotify before this, right? So
Yeah.
it was like I want to do it properly, and that's why this follow up single with Veronica's took a month or two more than I wanted it um, to come out. Like that's why it's coming out on the 22nd of May. It's just it felt to me like, why would you? I don't know how to explain it, but I don't want to just release another song of me singing. I want to do
Hmm.
something that I'm taking the
Yeah.
original artists and I'm putting it out again with the actual people, and it becomes like a brand new thing. But it's like it's
Mm-hmm.
with the you can't beat the real thing. Do you know what I mean? Like it comes to a
Yes.
point where you could do it. I could sing, but what's the point when you can actually take the actual thing and then drop it again, and give the people you know, something new that they love, and it's got the endorsement of the band or whatever from behind as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, so and doing that, by the way, it takes a lot more what's the word, like paperwork than you
Hmm.
think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's not like you can just go and release it. Like there are rules, there are people, everybody's got their hand out, managers want paying, labels want paying, everybody wants paying, and you know, and you're fighting over 0.004p a stream. So
So
and it's
true.
just like it doesn't matter, but you know, like it gets to the point of it's like nothing is easy and everything is fought for. And then in the
Hmm.
meantime, you know, you got people releasing like a prayer because of heated rivalry and because everyone's going to those parties because they're all playing that song.
Yep.
And then obviously like a prayer comes out again, and Coachella drops and everything, and just like the perfect storm around the song. You're like, yeah, I could have done it. I probably could have sang it, probably could have put it out, probably could have dropped it, could have done it for the views. But for me, I want a Britney, you know, I want a
Yeah.
Jennifer Lopez. I wanted a band or something like that to just release. So if I'm going to do stuff in the future, I'm going to do it with the real people, and I'm going to try my best to clear the impossible. There's things that other people can't do. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at mentally.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense, especially
It's hard
with
to do though.
it is very hard to do.
But it's
Yeah.
also not replicated, you know? You can go into AI, you can get a voice that sounds like Rihanna, but it's not gonna be Rihanna,
It
right?
won't
Right.
be the
So
same.
so so this is where we're at, right? It's like I want to take those amazing vocals, those memories of people that we all have, and bring them back and
Mm-hmm.
just drop it in a new way, but do it together.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the right way to do
Real
it.
people.
It's hard.
Yeah, I went to one of those Club 90s, and all I could see, they basically just they took a bunch of artists' work, which then I had to Instagram all the artists and be like, "Did you know that Club 90s is using your stuff?"
They
And
they
then they
they
were just
took my
using everyone's edit.
content. They were taking my
They took
Instagram
the
content
content.
and put
Yeah.
it. People were like, "Oh, I
Yeah.
saw you at Club
It's
90s." It's like I
it's
didn't know.
wrong because there's so
Yeah.
many people like you who clipped and did things and made stuff and actually, okay, maybe you were clipping for your own channel or maybe you were doing it for you, but you never gave the rights for them to stick it on the screen. I heard that they were using my song right at the end of the night to
Yeah.
close the whole night off, right?
Yep.
And you didn't
And which is
know.
also crazy that the minute you play my song there, everyone's going to leave. So it's
Oh.
like I know it. No, I noticed. Like I did my first show like in the actual club when we did the one in Canada where the actual thing was shot. And literally, I played it like after about an hour and a half, and I was gonna do like 2 hours. Not everyone left, but only the hardcore fans like stayed. And then from that point onwards, I was like, well, I'm not gonna play this that early again. Like I'm gonna
Yeah.
hold them back.
Yep.
But it's just crazy. Like I'm doing DC Pride as well this month. I'm playing Hyde Park
Awesome.
with Duran Duran
What?
on the 5th of July.
Wow.
I got like such an exciting summer coming up. It's kind of
Yeah.
it's obscene. It is obscene. It's crazy to think about how much fun this whole thing is from a music perspective now.
Yeah, with all these opportunities and all this buzz around the song, have you even had a chance to watch the show?
Of course I watched the show.
Okay.
What?
Some
I can't
people
imagine
I
how
made
busy
a
you are.
song called "Coming to the Cottage," which I play at the shows. Like, how could I have not seen the show? Like, come on, that's so stupid. Like, no offense. Like, come on. Like, what kind of
we have to check.
when I
We
see
have
a
to
comment that
check.
says stuff like that, I'm like, yeah, okay, so you have your song in the most important scene in the whole show, but you don't want to know how it got there, right? You don't want to know what it means, what it represents. Yeah,
You're
you don't want to
devoted.
know like the storyline.
I mean,
No, I'm just
yeah.
serious. You have been so busy, so we're just like,
Yeah,
have
yeah,
you
yeah.
even
No,
had a
well, I
chance
had a
to
lot of
like,
planes, but I watched it. I watched
yeah.
it before it was even legal to watch it in England. I'm not gonna
Nice.
say how I did it.
Oh, okay,
I
yeah.
watched it how everybody else did around the world. Well, yeah, but I had no choice. I
Oh
had no
no, it
choice,
took a
No,
long
and I'm
time
sure
to
they
get
won't
it
blame
out
me.
there.
Like, what are they
no,
gonna
they won't.
do?
They
It's
won't.
your
Yeah,
song is
they should
on
have
the
sent it to
show.
me.
They should have sent you at least your episode. Your episode.
Yeah, well, but I do pay for Sky and stuff in England, so it's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
But the point being, at the time, I getting all these emails from America and Canada and messages like my phone's blowing up. I'm getting thousands of messages, right?
And you
And
hadn't
they're like, "Do
watched
you
it.
know? Like, have you seen this?" Like, and I'm getting tagged. I post one video, I get like 50,000 likes on it. I'm like, "What is this?" And then obviously I'm really confused. So I had no choice. I had to find out what was going on. I felt like I was I don't know. I felt like I was the only like person at school, and everyone was like I don't know, like whispering rumors about you, and you're in like the lunch hall,
Yeah.
Right,
and
right.
everyone's phones are blowing up.
You got to make sure it's good. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Well, I had to make sure to understand the whole thing, but then when I found out that I actually liked it, I mean, I'm straight, so I
Yeah.
watched it, and I'm like, holy, like when I'm seeing all this stuff going on, obviously, so I'm like, wow. But then I got into the storyline and I got into the whole point, and then I started meeting everybody from the show, and I've always been an ally anyway. I've got like lots of gay friends and stuff like
Mhm.
that. So I've never really, I've always been like, love who you want, do what you want anyway. Um, it's like you have to be in the music industry as well. I think it's a
Mm.
place that's
Yeah.
dominated by arty people. If you're going to be honest, like,
Yeah.
and you meet some very 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 interesting characters all over in music. It's awesome. So yeah, when I saw it and when I watched it and when I got it and I was watching them and reading about the actors and how they was working. One of them was working as a waiter, and the other one YouTubing his whole life. It's
Yeah.
it's just an amazing story. So from that perspective, I feel like I'm part of it. And when I spoke to Rachel, the only thing that I said, this has probably been crazy for you. It's been crazy for me, but I said, this has probably been really crazy for you. And I said, and I've got like a glimmer. I said, but you must be blown out your mind. And that was like the conversation that we were talking about when we were together, and she came
Oh,
to my
when she
show.
saw you in,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can only imagine, going through what she's going through, with her Parkinson's as well.
Hmm.
Bless her. She's a phenomenal lady.
Okay, so now that we know you've watched the show, do you have a favorite character?
Um, that's really tough for me. Um, I mean, you're really making me choose a side. So why would you do that?
we've
Because
done it.
I have
We've
to hang
asked
out with these guys
Rachel.
soon.
We've asked Rachel.
And Harrison's like, yeah, no, he only likes Connor.
So see, this is when you pick like
My
Yuna
favorite's
or
Jacob. How's that?
there
There
you
you
go.
go.
King Jacob.
Okay.
King
Jacob's
Jacob.
your favorite. That's
Because he's always
fair.
been so kind, and he always replies to me really quickly on Instagram, and he's just such a cool person.
He
Yeah.
is.
Very,
Yeah.
very, and obviously he's got a good ear because he chose my song, and
Yes. Yes, that is
what
fair.
can I
That's
say?
very fair. And he is
Yeah.
in the show,
Yeah.
so he's
Yeah,
your
and
favorite.
he changed my life. In a lot of
Right.
ways, his decision on that day with that sliding windows.
Yeah.
He upped my music career to new heights. So yeah, Jacob, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah. Take it for the win. I love it. If you could have any prop from the show, what are you picking?
To take home with you.
I would like to put the room 1221 like thing, and I'd like
Uh-huh.
to take the plaque from the hotel room, and I'd like to put it above my vocal booth.
I love that.
Yes.
But you know what's crazy? If you go to the hotel, and you probably don't know this, right? It doesn't exist.
It doesn't?
There's not
No.
that room. So that
No,
door
I knew
is
someone.
somewhere.
I knew someone that went right that day to that hotel to look at it. Right,
Yeah.
he's like, tell people, and anyway, there was an amazing lady. I'm not going to out her, but obviously I met a lot of fans, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
And yeah, she goes and she looked for the rooms, like room 1220, room 1223, and room 1222. And she says she couldn't find it. Whether it's true or not, and she's just on the wrong floor, I don't know. But she looked everywhere. She said she went up the floor,
Wow.
down the floor, or across it. So yeah, quite crazy. Maybe that plaque was just whatever. But she said she
It's
went
in
to
a
look for
prop
it, and it
room
wasn't there.
somewhere. Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe,
That's the
yeah.
most
Well,
creative answer that we've gotten for this question because most people say
Uh-huh.
yeah, because I don't know whether
an
everyone's
assortment of
gaslighting you that
things,
they
but
actually
not
watched the
that.
show.
Well, it's usually like a hockey stick or the chair. What else have people said, Anna?
Chair.
Yeah,
You
but
get
some
hockey
people doing
sticks
it
or
for clout.
chair.
I actually did watch it.
Jerseys. You want the door label. I love it.
I had no
I
like
love it.
yeah. Plus,
Yeah.
I made a song. It's like, "Will you come to my cottage this summer?" Completely alone together.
Hmm.
It's like maybe, and then obviously come to my house. Would be so perfect, so private, and you know what I mean. Like, and obviously I had to listen to that vocal on
Yeah.
loop. Yeah, um, again and again and again. Maybe I've probably heard it more than anybody else
Yeah.
because obviously when I was making the song and you're looping stuff, yeah, you can hear it.
Yeah.
And then it's like I love you and I love you too at the end, like as well. Obviously taking that clip from when they're actually at the cottage. So I feel like I've probably seen parts of this as much as the editors have,
Oh yeah.
because I'm clipping
Yeah.
out stuff, using stuff. Because obviously when you come to the show and then I play that song, everybody's going crazy because it's like they've never heard it and they're like, how is
Yeah.
this thing? And I spoke to Rachel about clearing it, but my only issue about releasing that song now is the hype's kind of down on what it was, and should I just be releasing non-heated rivalry stuff, taking a step away and reminding everybody that I am an artist rather than just staying in the same zone of this when, you know, Club 90s have milked it for 200 shows, made millions of dollars, and moved on, you know? So
Mm-hmm.
from my
Right,
perspective, it's
right.
like now's the time to be releasing new music and other things and using it as a platform rather than just staying within a fandom. Does that make any
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
That does make
Definitely.
sense. Yeah.
So yeah.
I yeah, I
Hence
get
the
that.
Duran Duran and Now Rogers thing. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah, I know.
Okay,
It
let's.
blows my mind.
I don't know. There, we may have kind of already addressed this, but I'm gonna ask anyway, just in case you have anything to add. You just finished the heated tour in Canada and the UK, and
Yes.
we have friends who have gone to several of the shows and raved about us. Can you tell us about the
Ah.
experience of doing that tour?
Oh, well, the light's gone out. It's haunted. So, uh, so I think for me, that tour was one of the best memories I think I have of playing. Like, I played a lot of shows, right? Back when, because originally I had a song with David Guetta, and
Mm-hmm.
it was
Mm-hmm.
pretty big. And at the time, he was the biggest singer in the world. And I used to do like a lot of EDM, electronic dance music, festival-y stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and jumping on stage with other people and stuff like that. But it felt so personal. It was
Yeah,
so different.
I love
I
that.
walked in the room like a normal person, and I just stood around and I said hello to everyone, and I took pictures with everyone. Okay, not the first night, but every night after that. Because the first night I felt like you got to pop out of the curtain here because you just come across the ocean. It makes sense, but every other time, I made sure that it was aware that like I care and I'm here and like it's a big old family kind of vibe. Plus, I felt really safe. I think in the first show, I was like, I really don't know what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
But like by the time the second one come around, by the time I left Montreal, I just got that it's like just a bunch of like mums and like like gay people and lesbian people and happy people and no one's gonna stab me. So I felt like
Yeah.
really safe. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were just like they're like decent people. And I said it on the mic a couple of times, like this is a room full of like look around, it's like type of people you want like humanity to be like,
Mm.
this is the
Yeah.
type of room that like you want to be part of, right? It's a shame that it takes one series in a whole lifetime to bring in a bunch of people together that like probably should have always been friends. But it's
Yes.
also nice that this has happened because
Agreed.
it didn't um have to happen, as well, because obviously the universe made it happen. So, in a lot of ways, I think for everyone that has come to a show, and I'm sure that's the one great thing about probably Club 90s as well, is it brought thousands of people that probably didn't know each other together and did like a lot of IP theft, but a lot of good as well. So,
Yeah.
so
For the
I
community of it, but
yeah, and that's the
Yeah.
thing. One thing makes everything better, and they're phenomenal. Like actors, his Russian is phenomenal as well. The fact it's not even his like native language is
wild.
crazy,
Mm-hmm.
and just I enjoyed it like on another level. And when I do America next, which I'm working on 10 shows at the moment,
Ooh.
um,
Ooh.
yeah, like I'm super excited about that as well. Obviously, I don't know what to expect over the next year or whatever, but I know that I'm gonna keep putting out the best music that I can, pushing it and trying to make a good example. Like, because obviously I have a daughter and I care
Mm-hmm.
about women and women's sports and everything like that that it's been part of. The fact that Madison Square Garden sold out, probably a lot to do with heated rivalry as well.
So
Mm-hmm.
cool.
Um, you know, and they play my song on a jumbotron, and it
Yes.
makes everybody happy. Well, not my song, but my remix or whatever.
Yeah.
That makes me happy. So yeah, I don't know. It's
That's
a
very cool.
it's a nice thing to be part of.
Yeah. Is there another song from the soundtrack that you would like to remix, or just something, even if not from the soundtrack, another song that you've got in your head that you would really like to get your hands on?
Yeah. There's a few that I'm working on. The problem is people watch stuff like this, and if I tell you, then they will
That's
make
true.
it,
Yeah.
and
They'll make
I
it.
can.
You can tell us
So
later.
Yeah, I can tell you later. But the complicated part is, I don't know. I just finished this. It was probably the bravest thing musically I've ever done. Is recently I sang with this orchestra. We did all the
Oh.
things she said, but an orchestral version.
That was
Oh,
And if
and
incredible.
and
and it
told yeah,
yeah
you
no
told me about that, Rania.
and
Yeah.
it's not out yet, but we're about to release it. But I posted a video of me singing a chorus the other day. Well, like before I left for Canada, actually.
Yeah.
Actually in this room. Like I was actually here when I'm
Oh my
recording
gosh.
it,
Where it
and
happened.
yeah, the microphone's over there. And I didn't expect to get 300,000 plays, but I know if I just made another video today, it'd probably get the same. Not that I'm doing it for views, which and the reason why I haven't posted it as well and done that is the next time I do it, I want to do it with a release date underneath,
Mm.
which is
Yes,
Yeah.
fair,
yeah.
Yeah.
right? I don't want to gaslight people into just endless videos.
Yes.
Yeah.
Um, so that for me was quite brave vocally because you can't really hide there,
Hmm.
right? You know, there's
Right,
no
definitely not.
processing. It's not like, all the things you said, dance remix, I don't even notice, but like my voice is muffled, it's lowered down.
Right.
There's a lot of like effects that are making that happen. It's not just me. It's not AI. It's before AI,
Right.
but but it's me and being good on a computer and good at like producing vocals into a point where like I can manipulate it to get it to be a big club track, right? And that's what I've been
Hmm.
doing for years. But with that felt like a Michael Bublé kind of moment where you got a big old band sat next to you, 20
Right.
odd people
Yeah.
playing like amazing musicians at the top of their like game. The same people that make the music for Bridgerton.
Hmm.
Um,
Cool.
and they are working with me, you know, and we're doing this together, and that to me felt like a real special moment. Like I feel like a lot of musicians never get to that point. So yeah, number one, it took a lot of bravery, I think, to want to do that, and number two, it was like something so far out of my comfort zone. I wasn't necessarily what's the word? Like sure whether it was a good idea or not. But there is a particular place in a particular scene in a particular moment. And if that song probably was to fall at that particular point, I think it would just blow people's minds,
I
probably
think it
blow the
would.
internet up again.
I think it would.
Oh yeah.
Um, but again, I I don't know whether he does it or not. That's not my call. But I
Yeah,
do know that it probably will get used somewhere because uh, will it work so well the first time, even
definitely.
on a
Definitely.
credits part or something down the line in another season. I don't know. But if I see Jacob this summer again, and or not again, sorry, I see him for the first time. Obviously, I feel like I talk to him like because obviously do
Yeah.
other thing.
Your
But
buddies.
I will ask him. Is there any particular song or dance song that you would like to do as well? Because I feel like it goes off the most popular song of the show, and you get linked to it. So I feel like all the things she said is the song of Heated Rivalry for some reason, and it just lives within its Billboard ranking of the thing that blew up. That's why they added it into the final CD.
Yes,
Hmm.
Originally
yes.
it wasn't supposed to be. I wasn't even supposed to be on it. I only got told that we were on it when I messaged my managers, not my label, and said,
Yeah.
"Hey, we're on this final. You know about that?" And they're like,
You didn't know.
I didn't know. I was
Oh
like,
my
"Am I supposed to
gosh.
post it? Like, is it like?" What's going on here? Nobody's organized. Nobody knows anything.
Wow, that's crazy.
That's the music industry.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Well,
pretty
I'm
crazy.
I'm glad that the version with you singing is coming out because I remember that Instagram post, and then
Yes,
the orchestral version came out, and that was my most played song last month. And I'm like, but where's his
yes,
version? I
yeah. But
so
see,
I'm
I
glad
could
it's
have
coming out.
dropped it. I could have dropped it quicker.
Hmm.
I didn't want to take away from the streams that were happening on the other all the things she said.
Yeah.
Didn't want to
Yeah, that's
saturate it
fair.
just yet. I felt like it was still doing crazy numbers. Hundreds of
Mhm.
thousands of plays a day. Why would you kill that off? Let it
Right.
run.
Yeah.
Um, you know, and when I drop Veronica's on the 20th, it will not kill it off, but they'll be listening to the new song, and then going back to that song, and that's kind of
Right.
how like the Spotify works. That's how people get millions and millions of monthly listeners. Is they're
Mm.
listening to your whole catalog. It's not just off, you know, the songs that are in there. But I felt like let them have their version, which they actually asked me about, at the time, and I reached out to him. I was like, "Do you want to should we do this together?" And they were like, "Yeah," but we've done it. It's mastered. It's finished. It sounds fantastic. I'm very happy about releasing it, but obviously it's got to be
You
done
need the
at the
right
right
time.
time.
Yeah.
Like it probably in the next couple of you know, weeks, maybe after Veronica's comes out. But again, if you drop it, you kill that one off. So it's just like, what do you do?
Yeah.
Right, right.
I
The
might do
timing
it as a
matters.
season two, you know,
Like
gift.
That would be
yeah, yeah,
fun.
that would be
Yeah.
fun.
I don't know. I don't know. It's tough. It's really tough. I mean, what bothers me, I think, the most with it, I think, if Heated Rivalry came out on Netflix, right,
Hmm.
it would have broke the whole world more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I felt like HBO, it's fantastic and it's great in America, but in Europe, nobody has it. Nobody can afford Sky. It's like
Hmm.
£140 a month,
Oh
right?
my
Oh
So I don't know
wow.
gosh.
what that is in
Oh my
dollars,
gosh.
but it's a lot of
What?
That's a
money.
lot.
And maybe if you
That's
have
a
the
lot.
subscription to like, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. And not like it's the only the elite that will have that, right?
Yeah.
Um so it's tough. I don't know. Like sometimes series they get sold and bounced around between different streaming services because they
Mhm.
like to keep their stuff like fresh. So maybe in a couple of years it will drop on Netflix and stuff like that as well. We don't know. I
Yeah.
mean, who knows what the future holds? But yeah, it felt like in Europe a lot it was kind of inaccessible unless you were watching it in ways you probably shouldn't be.
Right.
Uh, but it's definitely big in Germany and stuff like that. Like I'm still in the charts in Germany at the moment, and it just doesn't go
Wow.
down. It's
Oh
just
my gosh.
stayed at like that point for like the whole time. And the German label have bought the new song as well because they think that it will push all the things she said down further. So I don't know. It's a weird one. Like we're in this weird situation of songs living on the internet and
Mhm.
60,000 AI songs getting dropped every day. How's anybody supposed to break the mold in this type of noise anymore? But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll try.
Yeah.
Another good segue with that is we fervently believe in supporting real artists and
Mhm.
musicians. So, how can Heated Rivalry fans best support you going forward?
I think well they should be getting behind Veronica's and posting it on their socials
Mm-hmm.
using videos of the the boys, which makes sense too because they were at those Club 90s nights. They were dancing to Veronica's
Yeah.
with Untouched, right? Because that's what the parties were doing. It wasn't me that saw that happening. It was them doing it themselves, right?
Yeah.
So all I've done is taken what you were doing, right? Yeah, but
Yeah.
without me, and I have
Mm-hmm.
put it
And just like made
into
it.
um like a moment where we're taking the dance version and we're putting it forward with the original people,
Yeah,
so this
yeah.
is your song, this is not my song, this is a gift to you, like in a way it's what you wanted, right? Like you were dancing to it anyway, you were going around dancing to I feel so untouched right now, and obviously you know you were putting it like videos like crazy on all of the the parties that you were at. I
Mm.
just gave you a new version because it felt like it you would dance to it better because obviously it was a dance song at this point.
You're
So
right.
yeah, it's down to the fans really on what they want to make of it. But it was thought about, I could have released anything. But I thought,
Mm-hmm.
okay, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do something that I would like to be supported by everybody else.
I love that. That's very
Yeah.
cool. So, we always finish our interviews with a series of rapid fire questions. These are just this or that questions. Pick whichever one comes to mind first. first. So the first
So
one,
so bad with these.
oh gosh, that's okay. They
I'm so
hopefully they won't be
unfiltered.
too hard. The
Okay.
first
They're
one
not
So
is
controversial.
no, they're not controversial usually. I don't know. Some people need lots of explanation, but
usually,
so the first one is Coke or ginger ale.
Coke,
Okay.
but
Sensible
not that kind.
SUV, but not that kind.
Not that kind.
Yes. Okay. Sensible SUV or flashy sports car.
Oh, flashy sports car.
Okay. Tuna melts or burgers?
Burgers. I know. I know. I'm giving all the wrong answers. I
It's
don't think
okay.
anybody would actually choose a tuna melt over a burger
We've
unless it
had
was
people
because they
pick it.
really.
Yeah.
Because it's their comfort
Well,
food, but most people pick
Yeah.
burgers. So you're
Most
you're in
people
I'm
good
pick
sorry, but
company.
have you seen tapeworms that can come from tuna? That's
Oh god. Well, now I'll never eat a tuna melt again. Oh my gosh.
I saw a dolphin like got dissected once from like an anatomy program like for David Attenborough, and I can't, but
Oh
I do
no.
love tuna. I'll do it anyway. But like the point being, like
Okay.
We get it. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
How about a night out at the museum or a fancy gala?
oh fancy gala,
Okay. A cottage or a penthouse?
a penthouse.
How
I
about
live in the forest though. I live in
ah,
a cottage.
you live in a cottage?
You live
So
in.
you
So
want
it
to
would
change
be
the
different.
scenery?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the only thing is like cottage for an English person is like a small place with low ceilings and
Right.
like a fireplace, yeah. Cottage in America and where you guys are means a mansion apparently with massive glass windows
It's
and the
totally a
sports star would own
Canadian
one.
thing. It's totally a
Yeah, but
Canadian
it's
because
not a
like our
cottage.
cottage is still like a
It's like
cabin.
a I don't know. Yeah, right. Well, then you should go a cabin. The fact that it's the cottage makes no sense. I don't understand because I'm English. It breaks my heart. I'm like, what do you mean a cottage? It's not even. It's not a cottage though. Like, I need to. Like, have you seen the film The Holiday? Everyone's seen
It's
The
one of my
Holiday, right?
favorites.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, that
Yeah,
is a cottage.
that's a cottage.
Yeah.
Like that is the village that I live in. Yeah, like
Yeah.
literally that I can walk you there, right? Like it's just
Yeah.
over there. I'm down the road. It's Cotswolds. That's a
Yeah.
cottage, right?
Yeah.
Um, and obviously it must come from an English word from hundreds of years ago, right? If not, you guys wouldn't know it. So it
Yeah.
confuses the hell out of me. I'm like, don't you mean like a mansion?
We've had Canadians
So
explain it to us that it's a
Yeah.
Canadian thing. Yeah.
It's a Canadian thing.
apparently,
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all right. We love our Canadians.
We love our
I
Um,
know I love the Canadians. I just don't understand I'll never get it. I'll never get it. So whatever. I'm
that's
all
like
good for
me
it though.
and biscuit versus cookie.
Oh, don't even get into it. We're gonna get political now.
don't start, Anne. Don't start.
Okay, nothing, nothing. All right, here's one. How about French or Russian?
Um. Oh. Russian.
Okay.
Okay. And
I
then
feel like they're not getting the love they need right now, and there's some good Russians out there.
Yes.
this last one, I don't know that this will be easy or hard for you. The Canada fleece or Ilya's club shirt.
Um, Ilya's club shirt,
Yeah.
because I kind of have one that's kind of just like it
Do you
Yeah.
now.
really? Oh
Because
my
yeah, well,
gosh.
I got to give. I don't. I mean, now we're going to get into NHL territory. I'm not even going to get into that because that could end badly. But basically, it's the same color.
I love that. I love it.
Awesome. See, that wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad.
No, that
No,
wasn't that bad though.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
Oh my
Anyway,
goodness.
it's all good. Well, thank you so much for having me.
Yes,
Yes,
thank you so
thank
And
much
you.
for joining us.